prior coming to this event, I'd been to, I can't tell you how many different types of masterminds and conferences in the past for events put together for Amazon sellers like ourselves. And I had high expectations coming into this because, frankly, I've been to a lot of masterminds where you just get so overloaded with information. You come home with pages and pages of notes, and by the time you get home, you're just so exhausted from the event itself and taking in so much information that you really don't get to implement a whole lot. And so coming to this, because they shared with us that we could expect to be able to have time to sit down and do the work, while we were basically getting the information, we're then being able to immediately implement it so that before we even get back home, we have things already in motion. And there's not going to be as much for us to have to do when we get back. And, the biggest risk being that you forget everything by the time you get back. And that's not happening in this case.
So the biggest draw for us to come to this event was the fact that we were going to be able to not only learn directly from experts, but also from our peers, but we were going to have these time slots that were set up that we could sit down and literally take what we've learned from the session we were just in and start applying it to our business. Now, sometimes it was one-on-one, and sometimes it was a group setting, but we were able to not have to worry about just going home and having a list of notes and trying to figure out what we had to do first. We were able just to get done with what we learned and then sit down and put it to work in our business right there. One of the biggest aha moments I had was when we met with Steve, who is he's a huge seller on Amazon, huge seller in e-commerce, and we sat down with him on a one-on-one, and we got done after meeting with him for an hour and a half. He looked at us with a smile on his face and he goes, you guys should really take a victory lap because you guys have done really well to this point, and it just made me feel really good that we're setting a good foundation for really building up for the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And I would also say that one of my biggest takeaways was how many blind spots I had in my business. And this came from multiple different experts, different topics, but things that I just had never even thought about or I had never really noticed. And it jumped out at them when we were speaking, where when they pointed it out to me, it was like, well, of course. But these are blind spots that not only are limiting our growth right now in our day-to-day sales, but these are also blind spots that could potentially down the road cause us some very high costs. And so having them kind of there, looking over our shoulder, really getting into our listings, even on our Shopify site, so it's not even just limited to Amazon, and being able to point out these little, what would seem to be minute details that really make such a critical difference on being able to convert, people who are searching into actual buyers, and also preventing really big issues in the future.
I think one of the strongest parts of this event was just the format overall. Being in the same, I call exclusive resort with all the experts meant we had, not only do we have time to talk to them during, our one-on-one sessions or during the group trainings, but, you could sit down and have breakfast with them. You could pull them aside and have a drink with them in the evening. They were totally 100% accessible. So if you had any questions from what you implemented when you met with them earlier, or if you needed to go on and do more work with them later on, you were able to go ahead and just, you'd have access to them whenever you need it. Mm-hmm. And this is, I don't think we've ever been in a, we've been to events where, you can go up and talk to the people, but, after the fact, they're just surrounded by hundreds of people.
And there's no accessibility.
There's no accessibility. And here it's 100% about you, making sure that you're going to get the information you need so your business can get, you can implement in your business what you're expecting to when you come to an event so you can move forward and start to grow more.
Absolutely. I would say what really surprised me was I knew that these guys were good guys. I knew that they knew what they were doing. I knew that they were very strong sellers, and that the experts that they brought along were also very credible. But what was a really nice surprise was, as we got to know them, on a personal level, because we get to go out and do all these different excursions and non-business related things together. You really get to know who they are, and it gives you a complete different level of trust, so that when you are going into these sessions with them, whether it's a group session or a one-on-one session, the trust is there, and you know where they stand, kind of what's motivating them, and you know that they're really here for you. They actually really do care. And if they feel like you're not getting something, they are continuing to check on you and follow up and make sure that you are getting to where you need to be and what you came here for, that you're actually getting that.
Yeah.
So that was really refreshing.
Yeah, to make sure you understand, what it is that they're teaching you, to make sure it's just not, going over your head. Like you said, it's just, not only are we meeting the experts, their families are here. Mm-hmm. So we're, my wife is getting to know their wives, and, that level of trust she was talking about, it's a totally different experience when you have somebody helping you who's not only just, there to teach you the nuances about e-commerce, but is generally thinking about, okay, how can I make this person's and their life and their family's life better by teaching them. So it literally takes it to another level.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say about the quality of experts at this event, you don't really get any higher level than this, and we've invested in numerous events in the past where we have been around experts that I could say have been at this level, but it kind of goes back to the accessibility. Just because you're around people who really know what they're doing and they're incredibly successful, if you don't have that accessibility to them, it doesn't really matter. And so that's kind of where I saw the differences. These guys, yeah, they know what they're doing. There's no doubt about it. They've been there, done that. Every single thing that we brought to them, they've been through, and they were able to relate it back to us, and they were able to really kind of help us get over those hurdles, or at least get us pointed in the right direction to know where to go from here when we do get back home. And they've also made it known to us that when we do get back home, if we hit another hurdle along the way trying to get it done, that they're going to still be accessible to us. And you can't get much more value than that. You don't get that at other events. And I can say this time after time after time of all of the events that we've been to and the massive investments that we've made. You do not get access to these type of experts the way that you have here.
When you go to an event and you have experts of this quality, you generally see them, they're up on stage, they're teaching you. There is a limited accessibility. But what I'll say about these guys, not only do they know what they're doing, but they're humble at the same time. They're just like, it doesn't go to their head. They don't think they're better than you. Matter of fact, I can't tell you how many times I've heard them say how much they've learned from one of the other experts, or even learned stuff from us, with just little nuances that we're doing in our business that they want to apply to their business. So, you couple that with the accessibility we're going to have with them after the event. We've got appointments booked in the future to talk to these guys to see how things are going, and they've all made it perfectly clear that we can email them, we can talk to them. So this is, we have a toolkit at our disposal like we've never had before. Yeah. So, it's actually, if you think about it, it's pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, and I would just add to that I have. Every event that I go to, I always have a very specific goal set of what my return on investment is going to be. We don't look at it as a cost, we look at it as an investment. So we say, okay, what is our return on investment going to be by coming to this event? And my goal has always been, when I come to masterminds or conferences, is whatever the amount is, it really doesn't matter to me. It's that 1 year from now, my business will be double where it's at today. And that has happened year after year. But from what I have already seen here and what we're implementing, I don't think it's going to take a year to do that this year. I could see it happening within 6 months. So the return on investment it's off the charts. And I have no doubt about it that we won't only double our business within a year, it's going to happen a lot faster. Do you think we would have come here?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it's
just
just one of those things. It's just like, you know, you go start.
Well, I would say, being entrepreneurs and really working on growing a business, it's really important to go to events like this because you find yourself working and working and working, and before you know it, you haven't had a vacation, or you're not just experiencing the world. And so for us, these types of events really are critical for our mental health and well-being. They take us to places where you would not go. I know we would have never chosen to come here. It just wouldn't have happened. But it's like it creates an opportunity to get us out of our normal day-to-day, and it gives us perspective, and it introduces us to different cultures, which is obviously extremely healthy for the mind and the soul. And so I love the location. I would have never planned on coming here, but the accommodations here was such a cool setup. I've never been to anything like this. This place is almost like a glorified mansion. And it's great because all of the experts and all of the attendees, we've all been right here together. And so it's not like you can miss seeing anyone as far as being able to run into someone when you have a question, trying to track them down. You're not lost in this massive resort. So I think the resort choice for that purpose is really great.
When you think of like a mastermind, you think of going to like Vegas or maybe someplace out on the coast, but being in an exclusive resort like this with the experts and the attendees all together, and then, you know, before things even get going, we get to go out for like 2 or 3 days in a row and go out onto excursions, go out and just have fun and play together and get to know each other on a personal basis. It just set this you know, bar for, you know, how well we were going to get to know each other and how comfortable we were going to be, which allowed us to share more intimate details about our business. Mm-hmm. And as we got to be more friends with, or build more friendships with the people that were attending with us, you know, we got to dive into each other's businesses, and which, you know, helped weave in a lot of the stuff that the experts were helping us with as well. So I think it's just, this type of setting is just probably the absolute best way you could possibly go for a mastermind like this.
Mm-hmm. Agree. The excursions were amazing, and oh man, I don't even know which ones to talk about first. I'll just say that the excursions really created an opportunity for us to not only bond with the experts and the other attendees, but we ended up bringing one of our business partners with us, who we really didn't have a lot of one-on-one time with prior to this, and it just really solidified the relationship that we had. It took it to another level, just a trust level. When you go out and you're doing something adventurous with someone, you create a deeper connection. So, you know, whether it was being out on the jet ski and taking turns driving each other and trusting each other with our lives and getting tossed off of it, and just falling over laughing, you know, to going out on the ATVs and fishtailing and, you know, going through the river. There were just so many opportunities to really be able to bond with everyone that was here, and again, just build that foundation of trust.
So I would definitely recommend that if you have an opportunity, you should jump on it to attend. I know we're going to attend another one as soon as it becomes available. We're no doubtly going to book up on it, because it's, like I said, this is a totally different experience than anything we've ever done with any mastermind we've been to. And we've been some really good masterminds in the past that have met our goals of doubling our business. But, you know, like she had said, this has all the makings of doubling our business within 6 months versus a year. So, I mean, I can't say enough about the investment we made and just what a deal we got.
Mm-hmm. I would just say, because it is so personalized, you know, in the past when we've gone to other conferences or masterminds, it kind of depends on what level of everyone is at for the speakers or experts to be able to talk to. And so you're not really getting a personalized experience. Whereas here, everyone may be at different levels, but because we've got the one-on-one sessions and the time in between everything that we're doing, because we're all staying in the same place together, you get to have everything tailored to exactly where you're at right now in your business, whether you're at, coming in beginner level, intermediate, or even, the experts were even learning from each other. And so I really feel like it doesn't matter what level people are at, the return on investment is going to be there if you show up and you implement. And the implementation starts here and then it carries on when you get home. So I don't feel like there's, to me, and for us for sure, there's no risk in it. It is an investment, it's not a cost, because it's just a matter of implementing.
Yeah, because it's also ongoing. Because you have the relationships with the people that we met at this mastermind, that and with the experts as well, that this mastermind is really never going to stop. So when you look at that, your return on investment is infinite. My wife makes the best rum cake ever.